Okay, we are going to we're going to graph these two equations in one system. And the first one, let's look at the blue. And this is not a slope-intercept form. This is not written in the slope-intercept form. So I'm going to use the xy intercept. So now I'm going to find the x-intercept. So x-intercept occurs when y is equal to 0. So I'm going to plug in y here. So x, this part is the whole thing is going to be gone. So x is equal to what? X is 4. And then x-intercept should be on the x-axis. So it's going to be on x-axis 4 to the right. And y-intercept. Y-intercept, it occurs when x is equal to 0. So you're going to plug in 0 to x. So this time 0 is going to be plugged into 0x. So now we have to solve for y. So 2y is equal to 4 and y is equal to 2. So now we have y-intercept. So y-intercept is on the y-axis. So if you connect these two lines, two dots, then it's going to be the line. All right, next. We have a slope-intercept form, so now let's just find the y-intercept. Y-intercept is 4, so y-intercept should be on the y-axis. So y-intercept is 4 on the y-axis, and slope is -3/2, which means you go down by 3 and 2 to the right. So you go down by 3 and 2 to the right. You go down by 3, 2 to the right. You go down by 3, 2 to the right. So if you connect these dots, then it's going to be the graph, the line for the second equation. If you use ruler, it should be two straight lines, and the two lines are intersecting at 2, 1. So 2, 1 is a solution for this system, which means when you plug in 2, 1 to the blue line and to the red line, and then they both should be the true statement. And then these point is on both lines. All right, we learned about 3 different cases about the solution of system. And the first one, when two lines are intersecting at one point, and how many solutions are here? We have one solution. And when we have like one line, when two lines are exactly same, then we have infinitely many solutions. Many solutions. And when they're parallel, they're never going to touch. They're never going to intersect. So it's going to be no solution. There's no solution. And so type of lines. So for this one, it's obviously intersecting lines that you have to choose one from the box. So it's going to be one intersecting line. And if two lines are exactly the same, then you can say those two lines are coinciding lines. And the third one, it's parallel lines. So you choose number 2 from the bottom. So it should be number 2. And we have one solution for this. We already went over this. And let's just describe the graph. So now when we have two lines, and what do you think about the slope? Do you think they have same slope? They're tilted in different ways. So slope is different. And what about the y-intercept? Let's say x, y axes are right here. So they have different y-intercept. So y-intercept B is also different. What about if the two lines are exactly same? They have same y-intercept and they tilted the same way. So slope, same, y-intercept, same. And I'm going to put xy axis. So now they do have different y-intercept. So when the lines are parallel, when there's no answer, no solution, and they should have different y-intercept, but they tilted the same way. So slope is going to be the same. This is what we're going to do today. It's called substitution method. We're going to solve systems by substituting. All right, so substitution method, it means that you can solve linear systems by solving one of the equations for one of the variables, because we have two variables in the system. So we're going to solve for one. Then substitute the expression for the variable into the other equation. So I'm going to show you the example, but I really want you to remember that you can there's no only one way to solve the system. It has more than one way. So you can solve it by graphing more than one. You can solve by graphing, or you can solve by substituting. You can solve it by eliminating, that we're going to learn tomorrow. So I need you to remember, like, you're gonna learn many different ways. So you need to choose like one of the ways depending on the question. Let's look at the example. All right, now we need to solve. We're looking for the solution of the system, and we're going to use substitution method. All right, so now we have two. So we're going to rewrite the expression for one variable, but it's already solved for y, which means I'm going to use this guy because it says y is equal to 3x. I'm going to use this guy instead of y here because you see here y. So y and x in these system, they're pointing the same value. They are same value. So now what I'm going to do is write the second equation. Now I'm going to write the second one, negative 32. And our goal is to just leave one variable, x and y. We don't need these two variables. So I'm going to get rid of one of them by replacing. So I'm going to use 3x instead of y. So do you think I can plug in 3x? And can I use 3x, not y? I can, because they said y is equal to 3x. So I'm going to plug in 3x here, negative 32, based on the first equation. So now we only have one variable, which means we can solve for x. So I'm going to simplify it, combine the like terms, negative 32, and now we know how to solve one-step equations. Divided by 4, x is equal to negative 8. So now we're not done, because the solution of the system, the answer looks like this, order pair. So now you just found negative 8, but now you need to find y. How you find this? You need to plug back in to the equation. One of the equation, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to plug into the first one, because first one looks simpler. So now y is equal to 3x, and now I'm going to plug in negative 8 into x, which is 3, negative 8. If you multiply these two, the answer is going to be negative 24. So the solution for this equation for the system is negative 8 and negative 24. This is a system. If you want to double check, you need to plug back in, then it should be the true statement. This question, I'm not asking you to find the answer. I'm going to ask you to find what is going to be the result of the first step. So first step means you're going to replace negative 3x plus 5 for y, and you're going to plug into the second equation. So now I'm going to rewrite the second equation. And so now our goal is to get rid of one of the variable. So now I'm going to get rid of y, and I'm going to use negative 3x plus 5 instead of y. And the rest of them, you can just leave the same. So now this is the first step. So now let's look at the options. So this is no, you have to see the grouping symbol, right? If you don't see the grouping symbol, those are not the answer. And 5x should be alone. And so the B is going to be the answer. So if I ask you to find just the result of the first step, that's it. You plug in the first equation into the second, then you can just find the answer.